I think one of the most interesting pieces of Starfield that not a lot of people are talking about is the renewed emphasis on deep RPG mechanics and character customization. And this emphasis starts at character creation in two different ways. The first way being your background, and you can choose between a large amounts of different backgrounds that are going to make up a big portion of your character. Now these backgrounds are not only going to allow new dialogue options to occur at random situations throughout the game, but it's also going to give you 3 starting skills. And a good example of this is becoming a chef. While the unrefined masses scarf down chunks by the shipload, you cater to those with a more discerning palate. In your kitchen, countless alien species become true culinary masterpieces. And then your 3 starting skills, starting with gastronomy, access to brand new worlds means access to brand new ingredients. And there is almost no limit to the delicious foods and drinks a talented chef can prepare. Then you also get dueling, considered by many to be a lost art. Close attacks with a melee weapon can often be deadlier than range combat when carried out by a skilled practitioner. And then we have scavenging. There are those who can find just about anything, and their success is usually dependent on knowing how and where to look. And like mentioned, these skills aren't the only part of the background that's going to matter, because just being a chef can cause some pretty interesting dialogue options to occur in different situations. And some can just be passing comments by different NPCs, but some could even open up new questing opportunities. And I think this background selection is one of the most interesting options you have in Starfield, because not only is it the starting point for your gameplay build with all of your starting skills, but it can also have a pretty big impact on new stories, dialogue options, and just creating the character you want to be in game. And the second big piece of RPG customization also comes at character creation, and these are called traits, and you're able to choose up to 3 of these, or you can choose none of these, because traits come with what's essentially a buff and a debuff. For instance, you have kid stuff. Your parents are alive and well, and you can visit them at your home, but you will automatically send 2% of your credits home to them every week. So with this, you actually have parents that are somewhere in the game that you can go visit, but 2% of all of the currency you earn is just going to go to them. And this is probably going to open up new quests or new objectives depending on which traits you unlock. For something like kid stuff, I would be very surprised if there wasn't some type of quest lines or objectives you can do after talking to your parents. And then you have another trait that may be a little bit more interesting called Neon Street Rat. You grew up on the mean streets of Neon. You gain access to special dialogue options and better rewards from some missions on Neon. Crime bounty by other factions is greatly increased. And this can't be combined with any other faction allegiance trait. So some of these traits are also going to be in different kind of clusters, so you can't mix certain ones together. But this trait is going to allow much more options and rewards when you're questing in this specific city of Neon. So you'll be getting different dialogue options. Most likely there would also be pretty big differences in terms of how the quests may actually end or how you actually go about these quests. And you're just going to be getting a lot more rewards. And when you look at this customization as a whole, there are going to be just a massive amount of different options, because you get your background with 3 starting skills that's going to affect dialogue options out in the world at certain points. Then you have 3 different traits you can apply, all having a positive and negative effect with just massive amounts of combination. There's going to be mountains of reasons to replay this game with different traits and different backgrounds just to see the thousands of different options that these just 2 customizations can actually change. And not only that, but traits are also able to be removed once you've started the game. And it seems there's going to be different ways to remove basically every trait. They did give a tease that the hero worshipping trait that causes you to meet the adoring fan and bring him onto your crew, that you can just kill him and that would remove that trait. And that would probably be a much easier way to remove a trait. But some of these are based upon where you grew up. So it seems that some of these traits may have a lot more of an intricate or deep way to actually remove some of those more in-depth traits. And I want to go more in depth with these different systems at a later date, but I think this is a pretty good overview on helping to understand how deep the RPG aspects of Starfield is actually going to be. And I think this is one of the most underrated parts of the most recent showcase. And I think a lot of people are overlooking the potential options that come from these type of systems interacting with each other. But that's all I want to go over. So thanks for watching.